are going to be trying the food section of the podcast. So for all my guests who come in, they get to try some homemade food from my mom or donuts or whatever it is that we're serving here at the household. And today we're having something called japchae. Japchae, to me, is a dish that we eat around Chinese New Year and for other different holidays, but it's in my world it's like a mishmash. It's like there's just a lot of ingredients in there.
Yeah.
Have you eaten japchae growing up?
Oh my gosh, I haven't had this in so long. And when you put it in front of me, I was like, oh, the memories.
I don't know why I give you 2 spoons, but
it's okay. I have 2 hands. I'm gonna go like this.
So we're gonna do a little mukbang. In here, there's like some Napa cabbage, mushrooms. There's pork. Can you eat pork?
Totally.
Okay, I know you went raw vegan.
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Maybe
but
just
you know what I was? I was like a flexitarian.
A flexitarian.
Because I didn't want to be so rigid.
Right. Did your stomach get upset when you like went back to like meat and like regular?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Also, there's like like roast pork skin. There's it's just a labor of love.
Yes.
And we're gonna try it. So
it's beautiful.
I'm gonna get a spoon of a mushroom here, and of course it has to be scalding hot.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
How would you describe how this tastes to people?
So I'd say definitely this, like immediately, and I especially love mushrooms in our dishes because mushrooms are just these like soakers of flavor.
Yeah.
Mushrooms are so important, and when everybody asks me like, what's your favorite vegetable? I'm like, mushrooms. And I think that's like one of the ones that people don't usually say, but it's because of the way that mushrooms are prepared in Teochew cuisine, and it's just so good.
They know exactly, and there's so many different ways they prepare it too. I don't know if it's because to like shiitakes, you have to soak it overnight. Yep. And then like the way you season it, but yeah, it absorbs all the flavor. How to describe this? It's just like comforting. It reminds me of just like sitting at the table with my grandma and like with the fam and just like slurping away, talking about business stuff.
or with my grandma in particular. This is going to be controversial, and I actually had a video about this before, and I had to take it down, but she would always talk about how dark I was.
Not controversial. My grandma would always talk about how dark I was.
Right? Why are you always talking about, like, I love being dark. What's wrong with being dark?
Being dark to the generation before our parents meant that you were low class, meant that you were like a working in the field type of person, and it meant that you were poor. Because upper class people, they don't have to be out in the sun, and they're preserving their skin, their porcelain. But when you are living in America and everybody loves going to the beach and being tan, you could see how there's like a little bit of an identity crisis of like, you're dark versus like you're tan. Like there's 2 differences. And of course, our grandmas were always there to scold us about that.
Totally. Yeah, and oh my gosh, my grandma did so many weird things. Did your grandma ever do weird stuff?
Like what?
So my grandma used to bathe me in beer.
I don't know if my grandma ever bathed me in beer.
Oh, good for you. Okay, it's true. You were spared the trauma.
Wait, what did that do? To make you less dark?
Yeah, that was the whole point. Like she was trying to. So I was really light as a young child, and then all of a sudden, I went outside.
Yeah. All of a sudden, you got the vitamin D that you needed.
And I was having a good time, and then she was just bathing me in like beer, and then she'd hear like hot tip that she can bathe me in milk, and then she would just get like gallons and just pour it into the bathtub.
Again, using natural ingredients to soothe any kind of situation that you're in, if you're too dark or not. Being dark in Asian culture is so frowned upon, even like in Filipino culture. And I totally get it. It's like a stereotype within our own culture to judge people on their class or on their wealth status. But, luckily we live here in America where being tan or being light is totally up to you. And, you know, there will be things that your grandmas won't understand. Like, I remember I dyed my hair red back in the day, and my grandma was like, you look like Hispanic, or you know,
Yeah.
like, she's you don't look good. And nothing against Hispanics, because, you know, they just have the way they say it, but I was just like, dude, like, why can't I have red hair, you know? So it's like lots of traditional ways of viewing what your appearance is supposed to look like, and here in America you can just do whatever you want, because later on down the road it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah, and I guess it doesn't matter where you're at, right? It's, well, specifically in America, we can do a lot of things here.
Well, yeah.
We have a lot of freedoms here.
Yeah, just don't get arrested.
Yeah, try not to do that. But yeah, it's so many opinions about the way that we look. You're too fat. You're too skinny. You're too dark. You're usually it's too dark. I was never too light, ever.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been called chubby. Like, I mean, and
too.
There's also this like whole thing that I've thought about where it's like you're expected to be skinny, but you also have to finish everything in your bowl, and you're expected to just like eat the extra food that's put onto your plate by your family members too. So, you know, there's a lot of things within trying to, you know, grow up in this world where, you know, we're not back in traditional, you know, Asian countries, and we like to do things a little bit differently, right?
Yeah, but how hard was that to grow up with donuts and like pastries and all the unlimited amount of?
I was more of a fried chicken fan. Like my uncles would always bring me fried chicken. They would call me "Goi Bat Moi," and that means like fried chicken girl. And yeah, like I really like fried chicken. And I remember, you know, growing up kind of poor, like here in America, we would eat hot dogs and rice.
That's what we do.
Yeah, hot dogs and rice, or batyong and rice.
Yeah.
Or like tofu with soy sauce and rice. I mean, like, you know, we just get it done. Like,
wait, did you ever eat mangoes with soy sauce and rice?
I've had mango with rice, but not with soy sauce. And like, have you ever had watermelon with rice?
Oh no.
My grandma did that.
Love that.
Yeah, and I was just like, and I remember trying to be like, I don't get it.
What? Maybe that's just a Teochew thing. Like maybe they just ate fruits with rice.
There's something about Teochew culture where like, with you're supposed to have rice to like coat the belly.
I think so.
Like even like a little bit of rice is like, oh, I have to have a little bit of rice first.
Yeah.
And you know, we're currently trying to break that stereotype with for example, with my mom. I'm like, Mom, like rice has so much sugar in it. So we need to like transition out like maybe lentils or you know, like brown rice. So she's now on this like 7-grain like black rice. Like
wow.
Yeah, and then she's transitioned to oatmeal. I'm so proud of her.
She's so hip.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is a new her, you know. Now that she's retired, now she's really thinking and taking care of her body.
Right.
So
You announced that. When did she retire?
just a few months ago.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh cool.
Yeah. So it's been really dope.
And compliments to the chef.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
amazing.
Definitely, it's super good. If you guys have a japchae recipe that you guys want to share, or any cool stories that, you know, have come about from this podcast of eating and enjoying our stories, let us know. And if you guys have any guests that you want me to bring on where we do a mukbang or we talk about stories, let us know as well. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.